Welcome back, fake genetic freaks. Today we got yet another sprint, jump, and lift sessions. Started with jumps. We tried to dunk some spike balls. We got, I think, 4 or 5 down, which was pretty interesting because most of the dunks came off of the left-right approach. I don't really know how because I'm dunking with my left hand, and I thought I had more vert off of my right-left approach as well, but I think it also might just be one of those things where it's more of a run-up issue. I'm just not as comfortable because I've always jumped off of one foot, and so I just don't really understand the distance yet, and I have a really good block for my right-left approach, and so I go way more up, and I just can't really time how far under I need to be. But yeah, started warming up with some taps and on the backboard, then at the base of the rim, and then the rim, and then warmed up for actual spike ball dunks. We did 10 each approach and just a few random stuff in the middle. And then and then we hit 10 meters. I think I did 8 10s and 120 at the end just to get that 100 yards in. That's where I'm sitting at right now. And also we're at the end, our second to last week of the power phase. So things are getting actually a lot easier. The weight sessions are getting easier. I feel like the intensity is a lot higher, but the volume feels like it's going down a whole lot because I'm doing, a lot more sets of Olympic lifts instead of, super hard hypertrophy lifts. Not to say that the Olympic lifts aren't taxing at all and they aren't hard, but I can get back to a Olympic lift about 45 seconds to a minute and a half after I complete one set. Well, if I do it with compound hypertrophy stuff, it definitely takes over 2 minutes, guaranteed for sure. But yeah, we did some really good pause hang cleans. Went up to 200, did 3. Oh wait, no, I hit it for two times for heavy singles, and then 2 195s, and then I failed the last 200, which was kind of sad, but I'm okay. I don't feel like that affects my training, failing on a hang clean. But yeah, I was super impressed by that. That was the first time I've gotten it into the 200 with the hang power cleans, or pause hang cleans. So it was really exciting. I feel like my actual, a full clean might be above 250, honestly. I'm not really sure, but that would be amazing. I think at some point in time I want to start training those a little bit more in order to hopefully get 1.5 times body weight from a full clean. That would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, went into some lunges because the gym was crowded. I'm not a big lunge guy, but did that for some hypertrophy and did some hex bar deadlifts for more of a strength stimulus. And honestly, I know it's a hinge, it's called deadlift, but it's way, way more like a squat, I think. But yeah, I feel my quads just a significant amount more. And then went into hammies and calves, and the calves are feeling good. The shin splints are little to non-existent right now, and I'm increasing my volume. And also, I'm taking away my broad jumps because I feel like I'm getting so much sprint volume that it's okay to not have any broad jumps, and I'm getting a lot of jump volume as well. But yeah, so today's topic is the everything that you need to know about hamstrings. So one thing is I always used to think that hamstrings, since I only felt sore for them on sprints, that was the only thing that they do. I thought that they would pull your ankle to your butt and that's it. Well, in reality, that is not at all the case. While that is one of their primary movements, there's also things, or your hamstrings are also on the other joint. I can't tell if I was mad on that one, or I think I was excited. No, I think I was a little mad. But yeah, anyway, they cross over your hip joint. So they also pull your leg, like the back of your thigh, into a straight line. So they pull it from like I think it's around your lower back where one connection point is, and then there's one point at the bottom of your thigh on the backside, and that contracts, so it pulls your whole leg backwards, and that muscle closes in between your glutes and around where your knee is, and so that's what helps you extend. It's the same thing as what your glutes do, except some people have more dominant hamstrings. I would be one of those people. Like my hamstrings definitely take over on a lot more stuff than my glutes, which is totally fine. I don't really care about it. But yeah, so kind of how this translates over to your knowledge about sprint training, jump training, everything. So one thing with hamstrings is it is a very quick and very, very powerful muscle in your body. It's really large. It's not as big as your quads, I guess it's just not as big as your quads, but it is really big in comparison to the rest of them. Also, before I get into that, my standing vert is actually one of the highest I think it's probably the highest it's ever been. I think I touched 10.1, which is like an official 31-inch standing vert, and then if I got on like, one of those vert max things or whatever, that would put me at like a 35 or whatever, because those things are a little inaccurate. But yeah, it was, I don't know. I think the power phase is really translating over well to my standing jump. I think also the strength phase helped a lot, so I'm not really sure which one's more beneficial for that, but I could definitely tell that the strength phase is more beneficial for all of my just jumps in general, but my 1 foot jump is lacking. So I think that's why we're going to hit an elastic phase sooner or later, just to see what that does with the 1 foot bounce and see if that also translates over to the 2 foot. I wouldn't be surprised, but honestly, I have no idea. Anyway, going back to your hamstrings, they are super, super fast twitch. So that means they get really sore really quick, and that's why bodybuilders will say like, oh, you only train your hamstrings like once a week or once every 2 weeks, because they just get so sore. I think this is true primarily for the ones that pull your heel to your glute. I don't think this is at all true with the hamstring muscles that pull your leg backwards. Just for experience sake, like when I work my hamstring out that pulls my heel to my glute, it is sore a lot longer, a lot quicker, as opposed to the other one. The other one just kind of feels like my quads, I guess, or like my glutes, or lower back or whatnot. So I think that the specific one where it just pulls your legs back is not as fast twitch, so you don't need to worry about overtraining it quite as much, while you definitely do on the ones that pull your heel to your butt. And so yeah, the way that I like to train these is usually Nordics. I like to train the ones that pull your heel to your butt with Nordics. I like those a lot because I feel like the tension gets put on them more in the more lengthened position as you continue to go down and the hamstring begins to stretch. That's more of the tension, and that's really where you want all of the strength to be when you're sprinting. I don't think in any way that hamstring translates over to vertical jump, because it's just not a part of triple extension in any way. So if you are a only jumper and you don't get hamstring strains, honestly, I wouldn't do it. I don't really care. However, there is a theory that I have about them that is in no way backed up, but I think it could be a viable reason to train them. Is I think that the strength of your hamstrings will allow your quads to contract better, faster, stronger, because I think that your body has a lot of mechanisms in it to not allow you to push harder than the rest of your body can handle. So, if my legs can move 500 pounds in a deadlift while my back cannot, I will be limited by my back. And my back, even if it might be able to lift up the weight and I will get seriously injured, it won't, my body just won't let me do it. So I think your hamstring is a lot like that. If your quad contracts really, really hard and your leg straightens out and your hamstring is not strong enough to hold it down to stop it from hyperextending, then I don't think your body will allow you to push that hard, contract your quad that hard. So that's the only reason I think that a strong hamstring would be necessary, or could be super beneficial for just vertical jump training. In general, I also don't know how much that would benefit it, but I think that's a possible reason that some people train it. But for sprints, just because you are literally frying your hamstrings during sprints, and also when you are going on the back cycle, so when your leg is coming forward right before it's striking the ground, your hamstring is under so much stress because it's straightening out and you're trying to pull it in at the same time, at twice the speed of your body's moving. I think that is a really important reason to have strong hamstrings, just for sprinting in general, to get rid of hamstring strains, to make sure that you're protected in that way. But that's mostly for sprinting, and you would just want to train your sprinting muscles like that anyway. And then the other hamstring muscles, the ones that pull your legs back, I think you could train with literally any type of hinge. If your glutes contract and then you're also training your hamstrings, people would argue for, if there's not a stretch, then it's not really training them. I think that's kind of pointless, because you could be training something and not really feel the tension on the muscle, but in reality, if you poked it, there would be a lot of tension on it. And so I think these are actually really, really important, but you're going to get them trained through any glute, any hinge or squat exercise. And so it really just comes down to that it's already getting trained. But these have more ability to be trained because I don't think they're as fast twitch. But I think that's pretty much all I have on hamstrings. Oh wait, actually, another reason to train your hamstrings is, for whatever reason, if you want to have big looking legs, the hamstrings will fill them out. Absolutely guaranteed. It just makes your legs look so much bigger. So yeah, that's it. Peace. See you later.